Hi guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the WEC Replica Championship on Project Cars 2. We're getting ready for a start here at Le Mans. We've got the time progression on, so we will see day to night transition. This should be an epic race. We've got Bidzster on pole in the LMP1, and then we've got Footman on pole for the GTE class. Getting ready for a start. We're watching the LMP1 runners here, and waiting for the lights to go out. Lights out, away we go. Good start everyone, but Cyrix gets bogged down. And Stevie almost ran into the back of him there, but I think everything goes well there. As you go in towards the chicane for the first time, Bidzster in the lead in the LMP1 then. And then all the LMP1s go through. I think there's contact in the background. We've got Growly Bear and Blatantly going off backwards there. Something major's happened there. TY's gone backwards as well. He in the LMP1 class, he had a bad start as well, so terrible start there for a few people. So once the race settles down, we'll get some replays in. But there's Bidzster out in front. He's already going through Tetra Rouge onto the back straight. There's Cyrix following suit behind Neil. Callum, and then we've got car off. Massive crash there. James Deluxe into the wall there in the Audi. So very unlucky there for James Deluxe. And then obviously TY goes through. He's working his way through the GTE lot after that first lap incident. So oh wow, all happening here, but look at the pace of the LMP1 car going through the traffic. Meanwhile, down towards the first chicane, it is Bidzster in the lead. But then we've got Neil and Cyrix side by side. Neil over the curb, Cyrix round the outside of Neil. Brilliant stuff on this opening lap. No holding back here from the LMP1 guys. Meanwhile, here come the GTE guys into the chicane. We've got Stacker there, and then TY's just come out of there. He's going to be catching up to Footman. There he is, there's the Toyota passing Footman round the outside. So there they go, down towards the next chicane. Bidzster's already there. Cyrix and Neil having a nice little battle here. Onto the brakes into the second chicane. And not touching the curbs too much again. The stewards are very conscious of track limits here, so got to watch out for that. The steward will be looking at the track limits. So Cyrix followed by Neil down the straight. Let's check on the GTE boys. Got Stacker there with Azadar Blade just behind him. Then we've got Growly Bear further back. So all starting to spread out a little bit now. So Bidzster into Mulsanne corner through. Cyrix still behind Neil, cannot find a way through past that Marek. And Cyrix in third place. I should point out as well, Azadar Blade is in the Ford GT this round due to trying to figure out why he can't get LMP1 hybrid power, and he seems to think it's something to do with the car combination. So we're getting that trial run in this race. So that's why he's in a different car just for this round only. As he goes onto the back straight down towards Indianapolis, and the LMP1 cars are already there. Neil Farmite runs wide onto the gravel. This could be Cyrix's opportunity to get through. Up towards Arnage. Nope, cannot get through. Neil comes across and defends the line. Brilliant stuff there. And then we've got Callum and Stevie quite close together just behind as well. So LMP1 battles here, hotting up. As we look at the GT boys, Azadar Blade almost on the grass before he hits the brakes. You don't want to be doing that, or he's going to go straight off. We'll just quickly go back to the LMP1 battle, up towards the Porsche curves. Through the Porsche curves we go. This is where the Audi will be very good. The Audi will be very quick through this section of track. As you can see here, Cyrix closes on Neil. The Audi is so poised in the corners. We've got Callum running wide there in the background. That could be a chance for Stevie to pounce. As he goes right behind him, practically pushing him down towards the next chicane. As we look at Neil and Cyrix, we're piling under pressure on each other here into the Ford chicane. And we've got Stevie behind. Callum just caught himself out there. Watch out for the track limits, boys. Callum makes a mistake, runs wide, makes a mistake and goes off, but then Stevie goes through. So unlucky there for Callum, just makes a little mistake there. As we look at the GTE boys with James Deluxe among them after that incident on the first lap. We will get some replays on that after we've just seen the GTE boys come across the line. So Stacker comes through there. There's James Deluxe working his way through. So Footman in the lead of the GTE class then. He's the leader of the championship so far. So he's doing very well in this season, being very consistent within his class, winning more or less everything so far. Just had the odd race where he's not had as many points, but still very good consistent driving here from Footman, showing he's going to be a true championship contender. So it's him and Bidzster for the top. I know they're running in different classes alternately, but obviously this championship gives the perfect chance for the GTE boys or the guys lower down the field to actually contend for the main championship overall, which would be very good to see. As we see Neil and Cyrix going side by side down towards the first chicane. as Neil's just ahead. Stevie catching up to these boys now. Callum going slightly backwards. As Sarek closes right up out of the chicane. And just before that battle reaches the second chicane, we'll get those first lap replays in for you now. Okay, here's a replay of what happened at the start there from on board with Keith in the GT class. So watch ahead of us, straight ahead. You'll see Sarek doesn't move, Stevie can't move, and TY hits him as they all try and react, and then Keith almost hits the back of TY, but good reactions from him. Didn't cause another accident. And then if we go on board with Keith again, just after that, we can see the accident that happened at turn 2. So you see Blakeney just loses the back of the car there, hits Growly Bear into the wall again, not intentional, just completely made a mistake. And then everyone continues. And here's a replay of what happened to James Deluxe on Tetra Rouge. She goes here over the curbs, loses the car, and almost flips over, and then bang into the wall. So very unlucky there for James Deluxe. He's made a mistake on the exit curbs, and then it spat his car off, and then he rejoins in last place. So as we come back from them replays, there we see Growly Bear going through Tetra Rouge onto the back straight, running a bit wide. Arzadar Blade will catch up here because he lost a bit of time, so again he'll be in the draft. Meanwhile, back to the Neil and Cyrex battle, and Stevie out front for second place in the LMP1 class, and overall obviously. So in and out of the second chicane, down towards Mulsanne now. That Marek, really good on power. The Audi not as good on the straight line in power. Neil just weaving there to get some heat into his tyres, because obviously the tyres going off a bit. Meanwhile, 9 seconds up the road, there's Bidzster. He's just come out of Mulsanne corner in the Toyota. Bidzster loves Le Mans, and obviously it's showing there. But everyone else still likes it as well. I don't think there's many people that don't like Le Mans, but we've got Neil and Cyrex still very close together with Stevie in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, we've got TY back there. He's trying to catch up to Callum. And then James Deluxe further back after those incidents we just saw there on that first lap. So there he is coming down there. So then we've got Footman in the GT class. Then we've got Stacker, Growly Bear and Arzadar Blade running as a trio here in through the chicane. Now a lot of people think the Porsche is at a disadvantage on this track because it's not got the top end compared to the other cars, but it's got the handling which it shows off there. Meanwhile, LMP1 battle, Cyrex has lost speed there. Stevie's about to go alongside and he's got through on hybrid power. So Cyrex must have made a little mistake into that corner and Stevie gets through. So Stevie up to third place now. I'll point out as well, guys, the pit window on this for this race is going to be in between lap 4 and 8. So quite a decent pit window because of the length of the track. So we'll see pit stops happening around about that mark of the race as we go through the Porsche curves. This is where Cyrex should be able to claw back a bit of his time, but doesn't look like he's able to at this stage. Neil and Stevie with very consistent pace here. So all's well through there. Neil third in the championship so far. We'll have to see how that changes as we go into this race. So through the chicane, Neil makes a little mistake there. Stevie and Cyrex close right up to him, but don't think Neil had much hybrid power out of that corner. Stevie's obviously harvested a lot more hybrid power through that section and goes through. But now Neil will get his boost after he crosses the line and then goes back in front, but runs wide. Stevie looking for a way through around the outside. Cyrex could be back through as well. Contact between the two cars as Cyrex almost gets put into the wall, but that couldn't be helped because of the magnetism effect on these cars. So good driving there by all. Brilliant battle this. We go down towards Tetra Rouge, the corner onto the straight. Don't want to do track limits here as you'll get in trouble. As we see Cyrex, he does it. Oh, Cyrex goes a bit wide there. That could change things. That could be a penalty, but we'll see. As Stevie goes down the straight with Cyrex not in tow, but in front of him now. Stevie has to slot in front, behind, and that Audi got some serious pull onto the straight. Obviously, he did run a bit wide, but I don't know whether he'll gain a much advantage after that because he did run wide over the curbs, and the curbs will slow you down. But we'll have to see as we close us right up to Neil now. Down the straight we go. Let's have a check on the GTE battle now. So we've got Growly Bear and Stacker. So Stacker there he is in 9th place. He's second in class. Footman's already at the Dunlop, he's not almost at the Dunlop chicane. He's a bit further ahead, but must have made a little mistake there because Footman's gone quite a bit backwards. He was 5 seconds in front, and now he's only 1.7 in front. So Stacker's got to watch out. Footman's got to watch out here as Stacker goes through the chicane. Very nicely through there. Growly Bear and Arzadar Blade following in suit there. Keith back there, he's had a bit of damage on his car as well, and Blakeney obviously back there as well with more damage on the Aston Martin. as we go back to the LMP1 battle. Neil, Farmax, Cyrex and Stevie coming down towards Mulsanne corner on the brakes into the corner. Very nicely through there. Neil up on the curbs a bit more than Cyrex did. Cyrex gets a nice run here, but it's all going to be about the hybrid power. You get 8 megajoules worth of boost from the hybrid each lap, but obviously depending on how much of the 100% throttle you use around the lap depends on how much hybrid you use. Because if you harvest it a lot and then use a lot, then you're going to use a lot more battery, and they're only allowed up to 8 megajoules a lap. That's why you saw Stevie get a good run out the Ford chicane, but then as Neil got to the line, his hybrid reactivated itself on a fresh lap, and then he ended up getting a nice boost down towards the end of the first corner. So all to play for. It's all about using as much of that hybrid battery as you can without using it all up before the end of the lap, otherwise you will end up slower through the end of the Porsche curve. So good driving here by all so far, nice and consistent. Bidzster still in the lead here in the Toyota. Here he comes through the exit of the Porsche curves. Beautiful line through there, down towards the Ford chicane, about to start lap 4, so Bidzster's pit window will open when he crosses the line. And then these lot will as well when they get to the line to Neil. Again, nice line through there by Neil as he comes up to the same section Bidzster came to. And still, again, beautiful lines through there. Same from Cyrex, and again the same there from Stevie. So everyone driving really well in this race. As we go down towards the Ford chicane, Neil and Cyrex come through here. Cyrex closes right up to the Audi, obviously a lot more comfort in this section. And then onto the straight, Neil's got no hybrid again. And then Cyrex goes straight through, but now Neil's hybrid's reactivated itself, and then he goes back through again. Brilliant stuff. So the Audi is a lot more conservative on its hybrid power, but the Marek obviously uses a lot more of it, but then obviously when he gets to the line he can use a bit more as Cyrex goes alongside, almost tries to go alongside Neil out of the Dunlop chicane, but no way through. Down through the S's then, and then working his way up through the S's and down towards Tetra Rouge. Tetra Rouge leads onto the Mulsanne straight. The massive 4 mile, just short of 4 mile straight at Le Mans. Didn't used to have chicanes on it, used to go straight down. The cars used to be able to do in the 60s, 70s and 80s, used to be doing close to 240, 250 miles an hour sometimes down the end of this straight. It was phenomenal speeds, but obviously still phenomenal speeds from these cars, but with the chicanes in that got put in 1989, they obviously slow things down a bit more, but also they do prevent accidents, and it is a lot safer than going down the whole stretch of 4 miles. There we go, and watch them come down the straight. Cyrex lights on now, the sun's starting to set here at Le Mans. Obviously the time scale is obviously a faster time scale than this one, just to replicate the day and night, so this is as close as we can get to do an actual 24 hours of Le Mans, because the replays unfortunately don't let you save that much because of the file size, which is very annoying, because obviously that's why we stick to 40-minute races. Unfortunately this race is cut off the last half a lap of the race. Unfortunately we will not be able to see it, because they cut the replay off, because Project Cars 2 can't seem to get a file size that works. So you can save 2 40-minute replays and it considers the game's sort of usage full, which is absolutely stupid, when on Gran Turismo Sport you can save about 60, 70, 80 replays that are about 40 minutes long each. And you can probably still keep going after that, so I don't understand why they've done this, but hopefully Project Cars 3 will be able to sort that, or well, hopefully they'll be able to learn from it, shall I say. So there goes James Deluxe through the chicane, nicely through there. There's Stacker with he's got Growly Bear ahead of him now, so Stacker's gone backwards a little bit there. He's got a bit of damage on that car, so he's had a bit of a crash. Oh, sorry, just caught the wrong button there as we go down the straight, but still, Neil and Cyrex are still within half a second of each other here, or a second or half a second of each other, as they come down the straight towards the Porsche curves. Lovely set of corners this, not much chance for overtaking, but still very good technical corners. A nice challenge for the driver. Fast corners, lights on now at Le Mans. So everyone with the lights on. So it is lap 4, so the pit window is open. Bidzster's not chosen to pit this time round. Neil or Cyrex, will they pit this time round? Yeah, that's one thing we'll have to watch for in this race. Oh, Neil, bit of a shortcut there, but gets away with it. He'll have lost a bit of time there. See the time ticking down to Cyrex there in the top. So, Cyrex is in for a very early pit stop here. So Cyrex, as soon as that pit window opens, he's in. So he'll go through the little chicane part into the pit lane, and then he disappears off into the pit road. So Stevie goes round, he doesn't bother to pit this time. See the lights ablaze here. And I know Callum doesn't look like he's got his lights on, but I can tell you he has. That's just a graphic glitch with the game, unfortunately. So quite a lot of glitches in Project Cars 2. Good and bad, but yep, unfortunately that's one of the things that's gone wrong. So obviously I turned damage off to get so if people did hit the walls, then the lights would still be able to work, but unfortunately the graphics on the replay say otherwise. So there's Cyrex in the pits. He's just coming out after serving his stop, so he's changed all 4 tyres, roughly 16-second pit stop, and out he goes. TY comes through here in a very battered Toyota, so he's not having a very good race. This race is TY, as you see Cyrex just coming down the exit of the pit lane there, and then limiter off, and he's released back into the race. James Deluxe there in the other Audi and set in 7th place. He's motoring round. Then we've got Footman here. Growly Bear is there again, but again, because the game thinks he's got damage on his car, his lights are not on, but I can tell you he actually has lights on, and he will be able to see the road, but unfortunately on the replay it doesn't show. So again, which is very annoying. The Stacker comes through in the Porsche. So it's weird how we've actually set damage to off, and yet people have still got damage on their cars, which I don't understand why, but unfortunately that's just how the game is. As our Blade doing a bit of grass cutting there as we just shoot to him. Oh, he goes very wide into that corner on the marbles, and then goes very wide. There's goes Keith, and he shows us all how to do it. And there's Blakeney, he's just getting lapped by Bidzster, so Bidzster lapping the first of the traffic there. Blakeney really struggling in that Aston Martin. It's not the easiest handling car in the world, but him and TY did choose it for the season, so now they have to stay with it for the end of the championship. But it is a very fast car, that Aston Martin, but again, Project Cars 2, I don't know why they've made the Aston handle that bad, because it is quite a nice car to drive in other games, but unfortunately they've made it a massive pig of a handful. So hopefully they'll be able to fix that for next time. As you can see, Blakeney struggling there with the braking to get that car stopped. So Bidzster goes round then, out of Arnage. There's Neil, he goes through, and then Stevie's fallen back off Neil there, so Stevie's definitely made a mistake somewhere. In 3rd place, 9 seconds behind Neil now, so a bit more spread out. Callum there, again I know it says he's got no lights on, but he has got lights on, I can tell you that. So just the game thinking he's not got any headlights left when damage is off, which I still don't understand. So TY exits out of Mulsanne corner there in 5th place. Have a little check on the GT boys. Stacker in the pits then, so we've got pit stops happening everywhere here. So Footman has just, I don't know whether Footman's just pitted there, but he's gone down a few positions, whether he's made a mistake or not. So we'll just get a replay on whether Footman did pit or he actually made a mistake. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Footman on the end of lap 4. So he goes into the chicane, you can see there the green car losing it into the wall. He's on the right hand side of the pitch, then Growley's coming through, he tries to rejoin, spins in front of him, and bang! Then Growley gives him a little helping hand in getting the right way around, but Footman just a bit over enthusiastic there trying to rejoin, and then spun again, and that's how Growley got the lead. So as we come back from that, Growley Bear in the lead then 8th, Footman down to 9th now, Keith in 10th. Stacker is in the pits, Arzadar's in the pits as well, so we've got 2 pit stops being made here for Stacker and Arzadar. So they're in the pits, they've come out. And Blakeney will be around here somewhere. Blakeney's at the last. Oh, Blakeney's trying to come into the pits as well, get his pit stop done now while he can. So Keith comes around Tetra Rouge and onto the back straight. Here's Stevie, and Callum is only 3.5 seconds behind him. We've got another car heading into the pits there. That looked like a GT car to me. I'm just going to double check that for you guys, or was it an LMP? I'll just have to go through everyone there, see if it's Neil Farmack. Yo, Stevie's spun! Stevie's spun! And Callum goes round. We just come to that as we saw Neil in the pits, so we'll get a quick replay on that. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Stevie just as we saw Neil in the pits. So comes out of that corner and then onto the curb. Too much curb on the power, full 360 straight round. And just as he's rejoining, Callum goes past on the left. So as we come back from that then, Stevie back down to 3rd after that then, and Neil into the pits as we saw there. And has he got a car behind him? Yes, that is Blakeney, who's still in the pits from his stop. So Neil Farmack comes out, Blakeney comes out as well. And then we've got Cyrex coming through there, he's pitted. TY comes through there as well. He's coming towards the last chicane, and then James Deluxe coming through as well. So all a bit more spread out at the minute, but still, hope could happen here. As we've got Growly Bear, you can just only go see him with the lights off there. Like I said before, he has got lights on, but the game is not showing it on the replay, which is very annoying. But you can see the car with the lights on behind is Footman, so that's first and second in GTE, very close together. 1.9 seconds between them as they come down towards Mulsanne corner. So let's check on these pit stops then. So Neil's out the pits right in front of TY. Neil comes out right in front of TY here. And TY goes around the outside. I don't think TY's made a pit stop yet because he had a terrible start to this race. He tries to go up the inside. They've got Blakeney in front now. They've got traffic. They've got to try and negotiate past this. As they go onto the straight, Blakeney keeps to one side. The LMP1 goes to the left, very close to the wall. But they get through, and Blakeney will have a little toe off them now down the straight. But there's not much in the top speed of the GT and LMP1 cars. It's just that the LMP1 cars are a lot lighter, faster around the corners, and obviously the hybrid power gives them a lot more power out of the corners. Temporary 1,000 horsepower when they come out the corners. These cars roughly 800 to 1,000 horsepower when they've got both internal combustion engine and hybrid working at the same time. Very powerful cars. As you see Neil come out that corner and stay ahead. Callum in second place still with Stevie 1.9 seconds behind. As they're catching up to a bit of traffic now. That is Stacker just ahead. And as our Blade there coming into Mulsanne corner. Obviously Blakeney we've just seen get past. And here we've got Footman and Growly Bear very close together. Less than a second between them two at the minute. So still very close between them two. And Bidzster's coming up to these lot now. So this could be a bit of a waiting in for Footman. Obviously he's got Bidzster coming up and he goes right round the outside. Just look at the grip of the LMP1 car, right round the outside of Footman. That'll probably caught him out by surprise as well, and now he's got to try and get past Growly Bear. As we look at Growly, there he is. He's not going past Growly, so he must be, yeah, he's coming into the pits. Bidzster comes into the pits then, so mandatory pit stop time for Bidzster. Let's see if he can get out in front of Callum and Stevie and co. He should be able to, because he had a nice gap before he came into the pits. There's the two GT leaders go around there, and there's Bidzster into the pit lane. So here's Callum and Stevie there, just approaching the Porsche curve. So this could be quite close, but again, Bidzster's already stopped in his box, so the time will be ticking down for him. As we look at the back at the GT battle, Dunlop chicane, lap 6 now for the GT boys. So they're at the end of this lap, that'll be their halfway distance. As they come down the S's, Footman having a little look left and right, just trying to make the lights visible in his mirrors. As they come out that corner, it's really annoying not having those lights on the front of Growly's car, because you can't really see him very well. Again, like I said earlier, that's not him, that's just the game being glitchy, and in the replay not actually showing that the lights are on. And also, when I've actually selected damage to be off, it's still showing damage, which is still again very annoying. As Callum comes through into the lead, then Bidzster comes out the pits. Callum's not pitted yet. Callum has not pitted. Stevie's in the pits though. Cyrex has pitted, so this could be an indication of a battle to come. So Cyrex is coming towards the chicane. There goes Neil, so I would imagine he'd be in front of Stevie as well, and Stevie will probably come out close to TY. So there's Callum, so he's in the lead for now until he pits. Bidzster out in second place, but theoretically in the lead when Callum pits. Cyrex comes through. Stevie comes out the pits. It's going to be very close between him and Neil. He's going to get up to speed, and he's come out in 4th place. Neil's back in 5th, TY 6th. So that's the order in the LMP1 for now. So well done to Stevie there. Good timed pit stop out ahead of Neil, and accelerating out towards Tetra Rouge. Through Tetra Rouge we go. Cyrex has got a bit of traffic in the form of Azadar Blade, but dispatches him cleanly without ease, or without a problem, should I say, or with ease, without a problem. There we go. Twist him around a bit. We see Stevie there just flashing his lights, letting Azadar know that he's behind him, and Azadar will keep to one side. But look, there's not really much difference in the top speed here. Stevie only just crawling past as we go past there on the red limiter, and now Neil's got to try and get past Azadar. He's just flashing his lights a little bit there, let him know he's going to try and go up the inside, but again, can't get through. GTE cars have the right of way when it comes to the line. LMP1 cars can just wait, I've got to wait and then power around. But that's not helped Neil out very, very much, and TY goes through and then gets the run on Neil as well. Brilliant stuff there from TY. He's alongside Neil as they come down the straight now. But also Bidzster and Callum very close out of Mulsanne corner, so but Bidzster shouldn't fight Callum too much because he's technically 30 seconds ahead because Callum hasn't pitted yet. As we go to the chicane, this time Neil gets through and TY gets the traffic. So Neil gets through there. Keith has done Neil a really good favour there, and TY's got to wait until he gets out the corner, then he can power past Keith. So that's how it's separated up. As we look at Cyrex, he's coming down now. He's about to lap Stacker. He'll be able to get in before the next corner. And there goes Stevie into the braking zone as well. Neil Farmack, and then TY, and then we've got the Keith Porsche back there as well. As we look at Cyrex, he's going straight past Stacker there. As Bidzster's got the lead off Callum then, so Callum's obviously not fought Bidzster too much because he knows Bidzster's on it. So Bidzster into the Porsche curbs. I think he's got a GTE car ahead of him. Yes, he has. He's got Footman ahead of him again, and so he's got caught him up in the exact same place. Footman makes a mistake though, goes onto the grass, and Bidzster just slides through. Callum has to wait. So again, good strategic driving there by Bidzster, even though Callum hasn't got to pit yet. Still, every half a second counts, and he's got past him. So I would imagine Callum will pit this time, or he might go around again. So he can wait another lap if he needs to. But no, Callum in now. Callum comes into the pits, followed by Footman as well, who completely misses the entrance and goes straight across the gravel. So that could be a little penalty for Footman there, so got to watch out for that. So Growly Bear goes round, so I would imagine Growly Bear will be leaving it quite late on the pit stop front. So he's got to come into the pits yet. As Bidzster comes up to him, waits until he gets out the corner, and then powers straight through, and then Growly Bear follows him out. So there comes Stacker. Footman's in the pits. There's Stacker. So I would imagine Footman will easily be able to get out in front of Stacker here, because Stacker's still in the middle of the Porsche curves. There's Keith. Arzadar Blade is around here somewhere. And Blakeney's still struggling at the back, unfortunately for him, as Arzadar Blade loses it into the wall. Not getting on well with that Ford GT. Again, he's only in that car for a test this time, just to see if it's anything to do with the Corvette and Marek link. Because obviously the Marek's not getting any hybrid power, so there's been quite a debate over it and what to do. But he's just trying this for this race. Look at Neil and TY coming through there, and let's see where Footman's come out. Footman's come out the pits, and he's just made a little mistake there. And there's Stacker, so it was a bit closer than I thought. I thought it was Footman would be a bit further in front, but obviously not. So we're just going to wait now for Growly Bear to make his pit stop. So I think everyone has made their pit stops now. So Bidzster in front, he's made a pit stop. Cyrex has, Neil has, and I think TY has as well. As we go up down the Mulsanne straight, TY in the draft of Neil here, but not. He's closing, but not close enough rate to actually get past before the next corner, I don't think. And the Marek has got a slightly more top speed than the Toyota has. The Toyota he's got better acceleration, but the Marek's got better top end speed. As they both go into the chicane, TY goes in a bit hot, almost hits the wall on the way out. Very close, as we are obviously in the middle of the night here at Le Mans. Beautiful scenes here. As you see Callum come out there, and he's weaving just to try and get some heat back in those tyres. Obviously the tyres going quite cold as we go into the night here. As James Deluxe fighting his way through the GTE traffic here. As we've got Keith and Arzadar. There's Keith in 11th place. Arzadar's gone back to 12th, so he's definitely making some mistakes there. As you see a flash behind Arzadar, so he's got some traffic approaching him. Just having a look through the cameras here. It's not Callum, it might be James Deluxe. No, it's not. So I thought it was probably just the game flashing a light or something, or me just seeing things again. As we go through the chicane, Footman goes through there. So James Deluxe loses it into the wall, not having a good time in that Audi, resets to the track. Stacker goes around the outside of him, and James Deluxe gets going in that Audi, so not having a good race here. James Deluxe really struggling with pace in that car. As TY still maintaining that 1 second gap to Neil, keeping the pressure on, and you can see Cyrex just ahead in the Audi. So still quite a close battle here in LMP1. I know it doesn't look very close at the minute, but it's still one mistake could change the order as we go into Indianapolis. Ooh, Neil, TY's lost it! TY's lost complete control. Oh, what a recovery! Slides the car completely sideways, and it turns into a temporary Toyota Yaris WRC car, and then turns back into an LMP1 car. Brilliant control there from TY. We'll just get a replay on how he did that. So as you come back from that awesome display of car control, TY resumes in 4th place there. And then Stacker, there's Stacker in 10th. But again, we've got Footman who's just been passed by James Deluxe again after his spin. So James Deluxe goes through into Indianapolis. And there's Keith with Stevie approaching him behind. So Stevie quite far behind now. So I think Stevie's had to pit again in the RWD. So it must have been a pit stop glitch or something, or he must have forgot to alter something on his strategy. And unfortunately for Stevie there, I had to make a second pit stop, I think. That's the only reason why I can think he's fallen that far back. So it goes through past Keith. Sorry, just caught the wrong button there again. As we go on to the start-finish straight, Cyrex goes past Growly Bear, who has... Oh, he's just started the 8th lap, so Growly Bear can still pit at the end of this lap, and that'll be fine, because it'll still be within the pit window as Neil tries a bit of an opportunistic move there to get past, but no success yet. Growly Bear will have to pit this lap. All faced a disqualification, so he's got to pit this lap. Footman comes through there with Stacker behind, and then Stevie behind Stacker. So Stevie in LMP1 looking for a way through there. Stacker there. Has he seen him? Oh, very close. Now Stevie can try and get through, or he'll have to wait till after the chicane. He's going to wait. He's going to stay behind and wait. Footman's slowing up. So has Footman got a problem here? Footman's slowing quite up unless he had a little mistake into the corner. But then, yeah, we'll go out of this corner. This is where we'll see Stevie come flying past in that LMP1 car. Get the hybrid down. And there we go, straight past Footman as well. They both go on to their 8th lap. So last lap of the pit window for the GT boys. The LMP1 pit window is shut, but they've all done their pit stops, which is good. So TY has just done his pit stop, and he's gone back down the order as well. I thought TY had not done his pit stop yet, so almost over the track limits there for TY, but they have to lift off because it almost slowed him up. There's Stevie there just behind him. So up onto the back straight for TY there. So let's concentrate on this GT battle now. So we've got Growly Bear coming down the straight. Callum's just past Growly Bear there. There's Footman, he's just coming onto the straight. So there's let's see where Growly is. Yeah, Growly's coming down towards the second chicane, so it's definitely a pit stop gap. So that could be quite close when it comes to it. So there's Footman and Stacker coming down the straight. Lights ablaze in both them cars, moving over to one side just to try and stop the tow. So yeah, you can do that if you want, but you can't weave too much. As Footman goes down the straight, followed by Stacker. There's Stacker behind, into the first chicane. Nicely through there, both the very nice lines from both there. Stacker is Bidzster's teammates, Bidzster's leading the way in LMP1. Stacker is 3rd in class at the minute in GT, so good showing by him. Footman again, a good showing here, but Growly Bear could change the fortune round for Footman, because obviously Footman's won quite a few races this season in both classes, GT and LMP1. So again, he's the man that's battling Bidzster for the championship. So it's good to see that the guys lower down the field, who aren't usually as fast as the guys up front, can battle for the actual main championship. All very fair between the two classes. Plus you're racing people at your level. As they go out of the chicane up and over the top, and as you can see, just starting to get towards dawn here at Le Mans. The sun just starting to rise again. Bidzster through onto lap 10 through the chicane. Very nice job there, and exit out. And then we've got Cyrex in front of Neil, but Neil's closing right up to Cyrex now. Not much in it between these two cars at all. As we go down towards the Ford chicane. Cyrex still in the lead. You can see the sun starting to rise, bit of cloud as well, but not to worry about. As we go into the chicane, very nice lines through there, all very nice. Everyone obeying the track limits very nicely in this race this time. And there's TY in 5th place. He's got Stevie behind him as well, so still quite a few good battles going on for all the positions here. Growly Bear coming through the Porsche curve. So Growly Bear has got to pit this lap, or he faces the DQ. Because I've not seen him pit before, so this should be the pit stop lap for Growly Bear, and yes, he is in now. So he's got to slow that car down, get through the chicane into the pit box before this man, Footman, can catch him up, who's just coming down the straight towards the Porsche curves. So at the back, and the pit lane usually takes about 30 seconds to get down, so this is going to be quite a close contest here as we look at Callum going through, Tetra Rouge in a slightly battered RWD, but not to worry there. And we'll just have a little update on the Cyrex Neil battle, and 1.6 seconds back to Neil now, so Neil's backed off a little bit from Cyrex. As we go out the first chicane, still very close there. So Growly Bear still in his pit box. Footman coming down towards the chicane. This is going to be quite a close exit here, ladies and gentlemen. Growly Bear still not moving anywhere. And then we've got Footman coming into the chicane now. Footman's coming into the chicane. There's Stacker just behind him as well. So Growly Bear's moving now. Growly Bear's moving towards the pit lane exit. This is going to be a close rejoin. Footman's coming down the start-finish straight. Growly Bear's still on the pit limiter. Footman's just going to come past the pit lane exit now. Growly Bear gets out, gets on it, but Footman's in the lead. Footman's in the lead here, but will Growly Bear be able to get on the power to get ahead of Stacker? He's still on the pit limiter, he's still going slow. What's wrong with him? Now he's got it off and Stacker goes ahead. So Growly Bear could not work the pit limiter there and loses, and subsequently loses out to Stacker. So Growly Bear rejoins in 3rd in class, 10th overall. So that was a nice bit of driving there by Stacker to get round, but obviously a bit bad driving there by Growly because he didn't even know that he had this speed limiter on still. So unlucky there for Growly Bear, but down to 3rd in class. Footman resumes the lead in GTE then, with James Deluxe just passing him to lap him. There he goes. So Footman in the lead of the GTE from Stacker and Growly Bear. That is your order in the GTE. Meanwhile, up front in the LMP1 class, Bidzster dominating proceedings here on lap 10. Unfortunately, 5 minutes and 5.5 minutes left of this video is not going to be enough to watch all the race, which is annoying because the replay didn't save enough length to actually watch the whole race to the end. So Project Cars 2, I'm very disappointed in this. Please fix it for Project Cars 3. Because I wanted to do, for this WEC Championship, I wanted to do 1 hour races for this, but unfortunately I couldn't do that because otherwise we'd only get half a race in a replay, which is very annoying, but unfortunately that's the way it is and that's the way that we've got to cope with it. So Neil Farmack there in 2nd place, as we look here. So Neil Farmack is now ahead of Cyrex, he's past Cyrex. So Neil Farmack into 2nd, we'll get a replay on how that switched. So as we come back from that, Neil ahead of Cyrex then. Callum in 4th, place, coming into the Porsche curves as well. Stevie in 5th, and then we've got TY further back in 6th place, a bit more spread out behind in LMP1. So not really much of a battle going on there too much. As we look at Neil Cyrex, there is a battle here. Cyrex catches right back up to Neil. And then they both go across the line and Neil gets that surge of power from the hybrid unit and pulls right away from Cyrex. Just on the power of that Marek alone. Into the first corner we go. Again, the sun will be a little bit of a problem here because the sun's quite low. As we look at Cyrex here, let's have a little on board with Cyrex to see what the sun's going to be like. There it is, right in your teeth. Cannot see a thing. So very close stuff there between Cyrex and Neil as we go back to the outside cameras. Right behind him through Tetra Rouge. Through Tetra Rouge there, onto the straight, little bit of a wobble from Cyrex, but again he'll be in the draft down towards the first chicane. Wonderful little battle to watch this as we go down the straight. Neil keeping to the middle of the road just to try and lose the draft a bit, but again Cyrex in that draft, closing up. Not very fast, but he's closing up enough. Will he be able to make a move at the chicane, or will he wait? I think he's going to have to wait because the chicane's already here. These cars are approaching 185 miles an hour on that straight before they hit the brakes. Very fast indeed, and then out the corner. This is where the Marek will pull away on power slightly, and then Cyrex has got to try and keep with him. The Audi is a lot stronger in the corners, and obviously the Marek a lot stronger on the hybrid power onto the straight. So the gap still maintains itself there. Let's have a look back at the GTE battle. So we've got Footman there. 4.7 seconds ahead of Stacker, who is here with Growly Bear right behind him. So Growly Bear and Stacker only half a second apart. This is going to be very close through these Porsche curves here. As we go around the Porsche curve, Stacker keeps a nice line. Growly looking for a way through, cannot find a way through yet. As we go down towards the Ford chicane, still no way through. As we look at Cyrex and Neil, still no change in that battle there. Down to Mulsanne corner, Neil Farmack on the brakes, a little bit over the curb, bit squirmy, but again, gets away with it. Stacker and Footman's coming in. Where's Footman going? Footman's made a mistake there. So Footman made a mistake and it all closes right up in the GT battle. But like I said, unfortunately with 2 minutes left, we're not going to see the end of this battle, which is very sad. But if anyone has a complaint about this, please write to Slightly Mad Studios, who run Project Cars, because that will hopefully give them the kick up the backside that they need to sort these replays out. There we go, up over the Dunlop, under the Dunlop Bridge, down through the S's. Neil Farmack and Cyrex still close together. Neil Farmack still in front of Cyrex here, using the Marex hybrid power to good use. Look back at Callum, there he is, he's in 4th place on his own. Meanwhile, back in the GT battle, Footman, Stacker, Growley, as close as that, onto the back straight. Growley a bit wide there, but again he'll have lost time due to that, and he lost time, and now he's back in the draft. Now he'll gain the time back. Down the straight we go. All in the draft. Very close indeed as we look at Neil and Cyrex coming through the Porsche curves down towards the Ford chicane. 1 minute 20 left of this replay. Still not going to be enough. I know Bidzster's on his last lap now, but again, we're not going to see the finish of this race, so I have to give you a commentary finish rather than a video finish. As you go through the chicane, Neil and Cyrex go through. Cyrex gets a good run, but Neil gets that power down and keeps ahead. Meanwhile, Footman and Stacker and Growley. Stacker's catching up to Footman down towards the end of the Mulsanne Straight. It's all getting exciting at the wrong time because unfortunately the replay is going to end in about 50 seconds, but Cyrex goes alongside Footman here. I'm going to cram every single second of this in that I possibly can. Footman goes defensive. Cyrex tries to go on the outside, but no way through there. Footman maintains position. Growley Bale goes a bit wide there. And then accelerate out of the corner. Stacker gets a good run. He'll be in the draft of Footman here. He might be able to go out and make a move. He does, but he goes the long way around. And there's not going to be no way around there, and tries to go for the inside. Meanwhile, Neil and Cyrex very close together as well. Oh, this is heartbreaking because the replay is going to stop any minute now. Cyrex and Neil go side by side down the straight on their last lap. And this will probably be the GT's last lap as well, because Bidzster's already been through and lapped them, I think. Or he might be, or he will not be far off. But 10 seconds left in this video now, unfortunately, as Neil and Cyrex. Neil gets in front, but I'm going to have to stop the replay there, guys, because look at the time at the bottom of the screen. 2 seconds left. This is absolutely atrocious from Project Cars. I do apologise to all my viewers that really wanted to see the end of this race. I did as well, but unfortunately that's how it goes. Okay guys, here's the results from that end. So Bidzster wins the race by dominant proceedings from Neil, and then Cyrex in 3rd position. Callum comes across the line in 4th, Stevie in 5th, James Deluxe finishes in 6th position, and TY struggles home in 7th in the Toyota. And as we go over the page here, Footman wins the GTE category. So Footman wins the GTE category. It was a very close race at the end between him, Stacker and Growley, but it is Footman, Stacker from Growley 8, 9, 10. Then it was Keith in 11th. Arsadar Blade finishes in 12th, and Blakeney, a very unfortunate race in the Aston Martin, finishes in 13th position. So we'll see you guys next time on LPB Racing for the second race at Le Mans. Take care, guys.